Here we are with the first game in what is apparently turn 9. Our record keeping was bad.
I blame the secretary, who was me.
It was so we have Dallas and his Lizardmen, his tiny Lizardmen, 1,500 point army, and Jody playing the rampaging Orcs. They got meeting engagement. This is what deployment looks like. We'll go ahead and go over to Dallas, who won the roll, to see what table edge. Dallas, let us know what's happening.
Okay. Well, I chose this side, and it to be the angled at this way across there because I liked having the more area over here for me to kind of stay back a little bit.
For you to hide like a small child
Exactly.
in a thunderstorm.
Yes. Under the bed. And this particular list has the Slime Priest in it, and on the 1,500 points, it was a little tricky after giving him what I try to normally give them, the Slime Priest, to really get a good, well-balanced army. So I kind of went with a bunch of combat blocks with a little bit of support. Just to go across here, we've got 20 Saurus Warriors. It has a standard and a musician, and it also has my Scarvet, and he's actually going to be my BSB this time, just again because of points. I normally, of course, like my Slime to be the BSB, but I couldn't get it into the Lord's point total. Here is 20 Temple Guard with full command, and my Slime. He has Light, he has the Lore Master, and the Rumination. And then over here, we have 20 more Saurus Warriors with full command. As you can tell, I've kind of got them all back here in a bunch, kind of keeping everybody close together.
You're like a monkey in a piñata, hiding with the candy, hoping the kids don't break through with the stick.
Or I can eat the candy first. On the other side, I have two groups of chameleon skinks. One over here in the back. I got kind of some choices on where I want to go with them. And then my other one over here, afterwards I kind of felt like that was a bad placement, but we'll see. As Jody will tell you, when he vanguarded, he moved these Wolf Riders around to face them, so I don't quite have as good a movement around to where I wanted as I originally had thought.
All right, Jody, why don't you tell us about your deployment? And well, real quick, Dallas, did you roll any ones for the meeting engagement?
I did not.
Okay, so that's everything of yours on the board.
Exactly.
Jody, why don't you go over what's on the board for you, and then you can tell us what's not on the board.
Okay. Well, what's on the board is an Arachnarok Spider. Nothing else really needs to be said about that beast.
Wait, no, his name is Boron.
Boron, the Arachnarok Spider. He is the 5th element, or 6th, depending on what lore you go in.
Yep.
We got a Black Orc Warboss on a Wyvern. I'm actually really excited about that. The model is awesome. Matt did a really good job painting it. And Wyverns seem pretty BA. Next, we got 30 Black Orcs.
No.
Oh, sorry, 30 Big Guns. And they have the extra Choppas with them in a standard, and that's all they have for that. And we got a Boar Chariot, which I'm also looking forward to using because, as many of you know, I'm a high elf player and my chariots suck. So I'd like to use something that's actually worth it. Then we got 5 Goblin Wolf Riders, and as he mentioned, when I vanguarded, I'm thinking it was a decent move trying to make sure he couldn't get around. He could probably still get at my chariot, but I'm still going to get line of sight. So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully either he'll kill him or I'll kill him.
All right, so what do we got hanging out off the table then?
Well, off the table, because I rolled 3 1s, we have my level 1 Shaman, Night Goblin Shaman.
Right.
We have 5 more Goblin Wolf Riders.
Yep.
And then here we got 25 Black Orcs.
Yep, there's one hanging out up
And
there.
there's one over there. So that, it's not horrible yet. We'll see how bad it ends up, but I think it's okay. As far away as he is, bringing him on my first turn, I don't think will be detrimental.
Right.
But we'll see.
Well,
and I got the Venom Spider little wog spell. Not exactly what it's called, but so I can
Gift
give
of the
people,
Spider God. Yeah.
I can give people poison.
Nice.
Or increased poison, which is nice.
All right, brother. Well, we'll get back. You didn't win first turn?
I did not win.
You didn't roll a 6. Okay.
I did not roll a 6.
So we'll be back after Dallas's first turn then. All right. All right. So at the bottom of Dallas's turn 1, Dallas, let me see what happened.
Okay. Well, these I didn't move any up. I left them here, kind of thinking they're going to come towards me. my chameleon skinks over here moved closer to the wolf riders, and I got 3 poison shots through, and he didn't armor save any of them, but he made his leadership.
Okay.
Over here, where I was hoping for more of the poisons to go through on the spider, none of them, I didn't get any 6s, which kind of sucked. Nothing was there. So I was hoping to ping a few wounds there.
Okay.
During my magic phase, I got 5 dice. I channeled. I went ahead and threw 5 plus my rumination dice at Shim's Burning Gaze on it, because I consider it to be my biggest threat on the table. It went through, but I only did 2 wounds to it, which I was hoping for more on the D6. But I should have another turn or two to try to take that sucker down.
All right.
The other thing, I tried Fos protection. Fos protection on these, and that didn't go through. So.
All right. Well, we'll come back after Jody's turn 1 and see what happens.
Indeed, we will.
All right. All right, Jody, you're done with your turn. Let me see what happened.
Well, pretty much moved everything forward. I decided not to risk casting anything because my single shaman, now that he's on the table, since we have such bad luck rolling 2 or 3 dice and miscasting, I just didn't want to risk it.
Right.
Not yet. And the spell giving venom, it may have helped, but it wouldn't have been great. I don't think yet. So that's pretty much it. Brought everybody in. Trying to maybe lock them up a little bit with my wolf riders. We'll see what happens. I mean, obviously they can just move around and stuff, but still, it never hurts to try. And then over here, I just kind of ignored them. I know they're going to keep taking pop shots at the spider, but I really don't want to have to worry about them yet. So we'll see what happens.
All right.
That's it. Nothing really.
All right. We'll get back after Dallas after your turn 2. Okay, Dallas.
Yes, sir.
Let us know how your turn 2 went.
Okay, it was pretty short. I moved those skinks on the far end around between where the wolf riders were and the black orcs, all out of charge radius of any of them. And
Hold on 1 second for me.
Yes.
Let me pause this. All right, never mind. I thought that Jody had erroneously fled those wolves.
No. But during the shooting phase, I took shots at the 2 wolf riders that were left. I took them both out. Then his other wolf riders failed their leadership test and ran off that way.
Okay.
So they were off the board. During my other shots were these at the arachnid spider. I took 1 off of it through that. During my magic phase, I threw my dice at Shim's Burning Gaze. I got it, but he dispelled it with the Dispel Scroll.
Which wasn't a good move in hindsight, but that's okay.
So I got that out of the way. I'm still kind of moved up a little bit, awaiting their all the might and fury of the orcs when they get to me, and just gonna see what happens. I'm worried because if I break here, I'm really in a tight spot. But I think with cold-blooded, I'll be okay. So.
All right.
We're just going to see when it gets to the the Slaughterfest soon.
All right, Jody, we'll get back to you at your turn 2.
Indeed.
Jody, why don't you tell us how your turn went?
Uneventful. They failed animosity, of course, because I like rolling 1s a lot. So they did nothing. Everyone else shuffled forward.
All right.
And I shot at them and didn't do anything.
All right, then. So pretty uneventful.
Very uneventful.
All right. Well, we're going into turn 3, so hopefully an event will occur.
It's been a very slow battle.
The student's going to pick up.
Well, it's actually really a quick battle, but yeah.
All right.
All right. We'll see you guys after Dallas's turn 3. All right, Dallas.
Yes.
How was your turn 3?
Well, it's as I'm still playing a bit of the waiting game. I've been hoping that my magic would handle some things before they get to me, but it's not working out that way. So I took some shots at the boar chariot, got a wound through. Took some shots at the arachnid, got a wound through. During magic, I did shims on him. and got 1 wound. So he's got, I think, 3 left.
Yeah, he's sitting on 3 wounds.
But it's been taking me forever. That's stupid.
Yeah, that's
spider.
3 magic and shooting phases.
So it's been kind of, as I said, I'm waiting on it, so I'm not really out of anything, but I was hoping to take him out before he got to me. Other than that, I moved a little bit into the positions I wanted. I don't know, I'm kind of thinking that maybe trying to take him out may not have been the best goal. I kind of thought that it may have been better to, early on once he did his deployment, to move this in that direction to kind of stay away from it and get more towards the blocks that I could handle in a much better goal instead of having him to deal with. But I'm in the position I am now, so we're about to get into the combats, and we'll see how my combat blocks hold up.
All right, Jody, we'll see you after your turn 3, sir.
Well, if I'm still here. I might randomly die in turn 3.
Oh, that would suck.
It would. But we'll see what happens. It'll be fun. Alright.
All right, Jody, this has been your turn 3. It seemed mildly eventful. Let's see what happened.
It was mildly eventful. I, of course, didn't cast any spells. Just to give you a heads up. I charged with the spider, and he failed. He needed a 9. It was really close between 8 and 9. He got an 8, but we had to go with the 9.
Yep.
So he failed. So that's that. Charged with my general and my board chariot into this unit.
And I can see that things went well there.
Yes. Like incredibly lucky rolling, I got 6, 7 impact hits with the chariot.
Yeah.
And then I got 6 thunder stomps.
Which was kind of ridiculous.
Which, that was most of my wounds. He challenged, which was a smart move on his part.
Yep. Dallas.
Very smart move.
Everybody wants to see this. Where's it at? I'm trying to give you the thumbs up. Because that was a good move.
I only did 1 wound. 1 wound. And he barely failed his armor save. So it was really, really close. But as you can tell, they're on the board edge. That's because I pursued off the board. Because I can't make leadership tests.
Right.
So they went bye-bye, which is fine. I would have preferred to redirect so I could get a flank into his... But, oh well. I think I'd prefer coming in and maybe getting a rear if he doesn't turn around. Not that I should give him my strategy at all. But that's pretty much everything that happened. These guys shuffled forward. These guys failed to march because leadership test. And my spider's sitting on 3 wounds, so Dallas is taking that out like a boss.
All right, well, that's that. Dallas, you going to make it through turn 4?
4, yeah. After that, I don't know.
All right, well, we'll come back after turn 4 and see what happens, guys. All right. Dallas, how did your turn 4 go?
Okay. The main thing that happened was that I charged both my combat blocks that are remaining into the spider for a couple of reasons. First off, probably rethinking it, I probably should have only did this one and just had these face this way, but I wanted to make sure it was dead and also get these kind of out of the way from the dragon when it comes back on. During the magic phase, I first off did Speed of Light on this unit, and he dispelled it, and then I did Barona's Time Warp, which of course gave him a whole bunch of attacks that I threw at the spider. Always strike first, got him through, and so the spider is dead. Took me 4 turns, but that stupid spider is dead. Other than that, I took some shots at the other orc groups with my skinks. I pinged 1 off from here. That was about it. So right now, I'm about to face down the 2 savage orc, or the 2 orc units, and when they come back on the board. So it's not very much left on the table, but we didn't have much to begin with. But right now I'm slightly ahead, slightly.
All right, Jody, it's looking up for you because it's your turn next,
Yes.
mostly. All right, we'll see. We'll get back to you at the end of turn 4. General Jody, tell me what happened on your turn 4.
All right. Well, I charged my biggins into his temple guard.
They look pretty depleted.
They are very depleted. They lost 9, but I was able to take out 5. So I'm actually content with that result. I charged these guys into his chameleon skinks, who fleed, redirected in the temple guard. They needed like a 12. than close to a 12, and they didn't get it. So they
Right.
just kind of tried casting Venom on them. I got it, but then he dispelled it.
Womp womp.
And I moved these guys back on the board, and that is
To scare the lizards.
That's it. That's my turn.
All right. Well, excellent. And we'll get back to General Dallas at the end of his turn. So it's coming down to the end.
Yes, it is.
General Dallas.
Yes.
That was your turn 5.
It was.
Let me see how it went.
All
Talk
right.
to me. Talk me through it.
Okay. I was able to rally them. They
Okay.
Turn around. I swift reformed them, moved them a bit, trying to get around this unblockable, impassable, and to start bringing them around this way, which is I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get them into combat. Maybe, maybe not. During shooting, I pinged one off of the black orcs. Not a whole lot going there. During magic, I cast Speed of Light, which he let through. Then I cast Time Warp, which he threw his dice at to dispel, which was a really good choice to do. And then I threw my last one plus my extra spell dice for Illumination at Foz Protection. Here. So during combat, I did 10 wounds to him, and he was not able to get any back, mainly because he was rolling 6s, and then he needed like 5s or 4s to hit. He didn't get any through. So then he needed snakes, didn't pass it, started running, and of course I haven't caught up to him, which I think is an okay thing, just because now I keep them out of charging me from the front, but I still got these two guys to deal with.
Right.
So it's going to depend on what happens next. I'm kind of hoping they keep running and don't get past them, just to hold them up more. That's my hope. And hoping that I don't get completely annihilated from these guys coming into my flank.
All right. General Jody, you got a plan for your turn 5?
I do. I'll guess I'll have to see if it works.
All right, we'll see if it works. Jody,
Yes, sir.
let's stop arguing about your impact hit averaging out. Tell me about your turn 5, because
All
it
right.
looks like it went okay for you.
It went okay. I charged with both of them into his flank.
Oh my gosh.
Even though he had all that, I figured, you know what, I gotta try something. Luckily, my high weapon skill for this unit saved me. I got a few wounds through there. Impact hit only did like 1. However, my Thunder Stomp again, I rolled a 6 and did 5 wounds. So I ended up killing 11 guys, but he's freaking stubborn, so
he's hanging out.
he's hanging out. And then these guys rallied because they're within the 18 of
Okay,
them now.
good.
So that's nice. And then that's pretty much it.
All right, Dallas. It looks like it's looking pretty grim for you on the top of your turn 6, sir.
A little bit.
So we'll see. We'll get back to you, see if you can't enact a plan to save yourself. All right.
That's my plan.
All right. See you guys at the bottom of 6. General Dallas, your turn 6. Let me know what happened.
All right. Well, it's getting to the nitty gritty here. Right here I cast Foz and Time Warp on this unit. I cast Speed of Light, which he dispelled that one, but those two went through. I moved my skinks here to block this possible charge, and I moved them up here. I took shots at here, hoping to take as many of them out and make them take a test. I did get a couple. I think I got 3, and of course they did not run away. During combat, my champion was able to take out the boar chariot here, and these two guys had to make panic tests, and they both passed, of course, and they're still sticking around. So it's pretty much coming down to, I think, is on his turn 6 is if this guy, when he charges, what exactly will happen with that combat. If I'm somehow able to live and keep all those points, I'm in really good shape. If that unit goes, I'm in not so good shape.
All right, Jody. We'll see you at the end of turn 6, the game-deciding turn.
All right. This is the first time.
General Jody, tell me how turn 6 went. Your bottom of turn 6, the end of the game.
Well, all right. He reformed and faced my wyvern. So I went ahead and charged with my wyvern, forgot the wog again, but in the end it didn't matter. I charged my big uns into his skinks, and then I charged my black orcs into his temple guard unit as well.
Right. It
And
looks like you got a couple people in there.
yes, and because they were able to shift, they just made it through.
Okay, yeah. When the big uns wheeled to hit the
Exactly.
skinks, okay.
And honestly, he knocked out my back rank,
Mhm.
which I think actually really helped me, because that way that extra corner wasn't sticking out.
Right.
So for combat, I did this one first, and because I beat them all, I overran into his temple guard unit, so I got this as another into combat.
Right.
During combat itself, it was actually really close. I was able to take out a bunch of these guys, but he made, 3 6s on a save, 6-up save, and you got like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, you got 2.
So, that was on 3 dice, 2 6s was nice for him. And then when I did my Thunder Stomp, there was 1 guy left, and I rolled a 2, 1 for Slan, 1 for the guy, and I just barely squeezed the last one by.
Because otherwise he would have been stubborn
Otherwise, he would have been stubborn
on
on
a 9 rerollable, and he would have saved all them points.
Yes, he would have.
Man.
And then as he fled, because you can't kill a Slan, I was able to run him down, which is the only successful way to kill a Slan.
Yep. We didn't move anybody, but the Wyvern did
Yeah.
chase him
like
down.
This. Just like that.
All right. So actually, we haven't counted up point totals yet. So let's break and we'll talk about point totals at the end. All right, viewers, we counted up the points, and General Dallas got 415 off of Jody, and General Jody got more than that. What? 900?
Over 1,000.
Oh, over 1,000. So he has massacred this Lizardmen army. There's the Shake, but they're not going to be friends again for a while, I don't think.
Maybe tomorrow.
I'll buy him lunch.
Tomorrow at work, they'll be friends. Dallas,
Yeah.
why don't you let us know what your most valuable unit was, your MVP?
Well, I'm trying to think on that. Probably, as sad as it says, probably the Temple Guard, I think.
Okay.
Just because even though they got completely decimated, they withstood a mighty amount of beating down and almost pulled it out. If I could have kept those points, it would have pretty much been a tie, or it would have been much closer.
Yeah.
But I think that was it. My least, probably this unit over here, because it did pretty much nothing.
I was going to say that's kind of an easy answer since that's the only unit that seems to be hanging out doing nothing.
Yeah, and that was mainly my fault.
Right.
Where I really screwed myself the most was when the spider was, right over here, and I charged with my temple guard around this side, and I charged this way. I really shouldn't have, because with the magic support, I was easily going to be able to take out those last wounds. But what I should have done is, since I knew they were going to, the wyvern and the chariot was going to come back over here, I should have turned and possibly blocked or something over here instead of allowing them to get into the side of my temple guard.
Right.
So that was really a key point where I really made just an egregious error.
Okay.
I think really with this list, with throwing so many points in the Slan, I really needed to win the magic phases. And well, he had no magic phases the whole stinking game pretty much. But I didn't do enough, especially early on with my magic phases, for it to really have those points really matter.
Right.
To me. Since I've had this list as being the list with a Slan, I'm going to leave it like that and tweak it some to see what works best. Maybe, as scary as it is, maybe have him go solo and use those extra points from the Temple Guard to kind of round out the army.
Right.
That still scares me though, my poor little frogman. But I'm still going to keep trying. It's just tricky to get that Slan in at 1,500 points.
Right. Right.
I know your pain.
Any closing thoughts?
That's pretty much it.
Okay. Jody, I know this is the first time you've played with Orcs and Goblins.
It is.
So tell me, what was your most valuable player?
I really think that the Wyvern. I mean the Orc War Boss with the Wyvern, 5 wounds, Thunder Stomp. I mean, he got a total of 14 Thunder Stomps and all but like 2 of them wounded.
So he was definitely the MVP. He almost single-handedly took out the first unit with the help of the chariot, and then getting that flank charge, just his survivability. I really think he's the MVP.
Okay. What's your least valuable unit there?
Least valuable, I think I'd have to go with the spider.
Okay.
But that's only because it died first. It was kind of tough. There was definitely some bad plays on my part. There was a time that I scrolled Shem's Burning Gaze when I shouldn't have. I should have looked to the 2 wounds, get through to him. So, because knowing once we get into close combat, since he had light, I was going to face Time Warp and Speed of Light and Pause Protection. So I think if I would have waited to scroll, I actually could have done better in combat right off, and I may have even been able to bust his Temple Guard sooner. So that was that.
Well, they were pretty beastly with Always Strike First and Weapon Skill
yes,
10.
They were. I really think I got, for the first time in Bromance WarGaming, lucky with some of my units. Dallas's would roll, and I would need a certain number of people to survive, and they would, kind of thing. So I enjoyed it mainly because I finally got a win. I've been kind of craving one of those. It's been a while, so that was nice.
Yep.
I think actually probably the shaman was my least valuable. The more I think about it, the spell I got, I should have went with the signature. Giving poison's okay, but I just didn't do anything with him. He really just kind of a waste of points sitting on the table. Either I should have charged him into Chameleon Skinks and just sacrificed him, or went with the signature spell and maybe done a little more.
Signature spell wouldn't have been any better because it also had 12-inch range.
That's
So,
a good point.
and that was what held you back a lot of times was the range.
So, the thing I liked about this list is that the mistakes I made, in High Elves I'm used to, you make a mistake, you lost a game. And that's what's lost me the last few games with High Elves is a single mistake. And here, the mistakes I made didn't lose me the game because Orcs are a lot more durable than my poor, squishy High Elves. So it was interesting playing a different army.
All right. Well, we have one more game for what is apparently campaign turn 9. We have Ogres versus your squishy High Elves.
Yes, we do.
And so we'll see how that goes tomorrow. And hopefully we'll get this one up pretty soon. And that one up soon after. Dallas, Jody, thank you guys.
Yep.
This has been Matt narrating a little bit. And we'll catch you guys later.